Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, here we go. Monday, KVJ After the Show podcast. Welcome to it. Got your emails to get into here. Talking a little alien stuff I see that is on deck. Some more column outs that we didn't get to. We'll get to that here in a second.
I know I talked about that thing on Friday with the Zimbabwe. I showed it to Denny's, the story. And Denny's is more of your skeptic when it comes to that kind of stuff. And he thought that was a bizarre, odd story that doesn't make any sense either. So I really recommend you checking this out.
And what was the refresher on the Zimbabwe story?
1994, Zimbabwe, these ships land in a schoolyard, broad daylight. There's over 100 and 200 witnesses, and they legit saw creatures come out of it. Adults, tons and tons of just credible eyewitness encounters here. And then they looked, and they left marks there. So it was either the government doing some kind of a hoax, or it was legit aliens, but nobody knows this story.
Yeah.
If you do the research on that, there's not that much out there, and I think you're going to start hearing more about this story because I think they're doing a movie on it.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, yeah, the question we're going to get to and the topic is, why are aliens not really talking to us? Maybe supposedly they're talking to government members, who knows, but why do they not seem to ever communicate?
A lot of it think it's through telekinesis. It's some kind of telepathic way of communicating. That's a big part of the Zimbabwe story. They are talking to the children through their mind.
What the hell?
And they all have the same story, and then they interview them years later. They show the footage from 1994 of the kids talking, and then they show them in modern day. None of their stories change. They all come from different backgrounds. It would be impossible to lie about this and have it not fall apart. That's why it's such a fascinating case.
Sold me.
All right, good.
Look it up.
I'll send you some literature.
Yeah, I've spent some time looking into that. So, yeah, we got lots of interesting theories here that people have sent us. Appreciate your emails, mail@kvjshow.com. One of them is from Andres in Far, Texas. That's right next to near Texas, if you didn't know. He said, I heard y'all talking most recently on Friday's ATSP about how surprising it is the government is releasing information about UFOs and such recently, and you and others expressed confusion as to why the government would be doing this now and what prompted it. The answer is actually pretty simple. In December 2020, the government passed a COVID relief bill. One of the provisions in the law was a provision that the government had 180 days, 6 months, to release what information it had about UFOs. Specifically, military and intelligence agencies would have to report this to Congress. The Director of National Intelligence and the Defense Department had up to 6 months to give Congress and ultimately the public an unclassified report on unidentified aerial phenomenon, or UFOs. That report must contain detailed analysis of UFO data and intelligence collected by the Office of Naval Intelligence, the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force, and the FBI, according to the Senate Intelligence Committee's directive. So there wasn't a big sudden reason why the government started to release it other than it became tied to a COVID economic relief bill. Okay. Thank you very much. From Far, Texas. Douglas had said, Kevin, I was listening to you guys talk about why the aliens might not be contacting us. Well, on my blog, I have several stories about aliens, and in my stories, they have contacted our government, but have no formal relations because they're waiting for us to develop interstellar travel, as the relations between advanced technology states and the less advanced tends not to go well. Now, that does kind of make sense, that maybe like, hey, when you guys can finally travel like we can travel and zip through the cosmos and break that whole thing about it takes you light years, then maybe we'll talk. But until then, we'll just keep zipping around and you guys wonder what the hell we're doing.
Some people think you can teleport with your mind. That's what they're doing. That's what some people think aliens are doing. Now, it's not Not a lot of people think that, but it is a growing movement where the reason why they're able to get here so quick is because they're able to tap into something with their mind to get here. And they're trying to teach us how to do the same.
Okay. I'd love to learn.
I would love to learn.
Trust me, I hate traffic on 995. If I can teleport right past that, that'd be amazing.
I saw that one documentary this weekend where the guy, he would contact aliens with his mind, and supposedly when he would do this with groups of people, things would show up in the sky, and they had footage of it.
Wow.
Yeah, there was one they had in Vero Beach where they were doing some kind of a spiritual... everyone was doing it together, trying to raise their consciousness and trying to do all this stuff mentally with the aliens, and then these two balls of fire light up in the sky and then start flashing at them. But it's across, the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah.
They came right out of the ocean?
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on out there, Virginia.
Well, maybe we're just not smart enough to talk to the aliens.
That's
and
impossible.
They're just like, whatever. We're not talking to them. They're stupid.
Right.
Well,
I get it. I mean, do you want to talk to stupid people?
No.
Right, exactly.
There's a story from Miami, 1980, here in Florida, where, again, another schoolyard in the broad daylight, and kids were the witnesses. And there was, again, this weird stuff where there was some mind stuff going on, and that the ships would go through the greenery of the back of the school and then come right out of it, kind of like it teleported there. This is a story in Miami.
Yeah.
That, again, several witnesses, teachers, students.
It's interesting. Hopefully it feels like we're moving in a direction where maybe one of these years we might actually have something concrete to sink our teeth into.
I'm real alien hopeful today.
Yeah, you've been over there drawing aliens. He's been doing busy work and doing art. Alien art.
That Zimbabwe story got me.
Yeah.
I don't fucking get it.
I guess this is good news, too. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory announced on Friday that they are going to, or that they have approved a new infrared space telescope in the effort to help advance planetary defense efforts. The NEO Surveyor was proposed to aid NASA's ability to both discover and characterize near-Earth objects. And I guess it's kind of an important thing to find out if we're about to get smashed to bits. According to NASA, a near-Earth object is an asteroid or comet that approaches within 1.3 astronomical units of the sun, whatever the hell that means. The agency has been on a mission to discover 90% of NEOs larger than 459 feet in size, and has reportedly found around 40% of near-Earth asteroids within that range, which I think I'd like that number to be higher.
40% doesn't seem high enough.
It doesn't feel like, I agree. I think we need to try harder, right? At 40%?
Well, we're missing more than we catch.
Yeah, that's not a good thing considering it only takes one, right?
Yes, that's shitty numbers.
One's bad. So, let's work on that. Also, Doug had to say here, if you want to say something good to watch and like stories of the post-apocalyptic times, check out Sweet Tooth on Netflix. One character played by Nonzo Anozie is really great, and it is a good story. Okay? Post-apocalyptic times. And if you're talking about tourist traps, you forgot the South of the Border Hotel just south of North Carolina. It's been open for 70 years, and we stopped there once. It's a hotel on the highway. All right. A lot of people doing the summer vacations, looking at all these little tourist traps.
When does that bullshit start? Summer vacation. Is that end of June?
I think as soon as the kids get out of school, which Palm Beach County is this Friday.
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody else is already out, right?
Yeah.
This is the last week of public school here, and that's a bit big.
It's a big week.
Yeah, I know camps are firing up, so...
It's big for us, too. That means when the public schools go into vacation, that's when we start taking a little vacation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You itching? Did you finally zone in where you're going?
I'm thinking right now, it sounds like we're leaning on maybe a trip to the Keys.
Oh.
So I think that might be what we do, and that's kind of my own. I'm rooting for that one. I think that
more than the one up north.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, both would be cool, but it's been so long since we've been to the Keys. I really am jonesing to get down and Tech Duval again.
Are you doing the camper thing, or are you going to stay in a hotel?
Hoping to do the RV thing, yeah, because we found a place that would be pretty cool, a good location to go, and then I found also one that's kind of like an Airbnb for RVs, where they'll take all the effort out of it for you, and you can even just pull right up to the RV grounds, and your RV's there waiting for you.
Oh.
When we went camping at the Peace River, there was the people who had tents, and there was the people who had RVs. And the people who had RVs, they were some good living over there. It was, it's just a different animal.
That's how I want to do it. I'm a big old, I can't. I'm not an outdoorsman.
When you're a man of the tent, you can only look at the RVs and just wish
and
hope.
And RV,
one day.
It's almost too much. It's like, wow, it's such a responsibility. How much, I wonder, if you rented a good RV for a week, I wonder what that would cost you.
Yeah, I don't know. I just found the site to look at. I passed it off to the Queen. I haven't heard the results of what she found yet.
It's got to be over $1,000 easily for a week. RV?
I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I would hope it's less.
I don't know either, but I'm gonna act like I do.
I know that the rooms are really expensive. So, to us, we're just looking to shave some money possibly off of that and do something different.
Well, I'm waiting for the rates to finally break. I mean, just the rates they've been charging have been insane.
I know.
But it can't last forever, right?
Well, what's insane to you? If you got an RV, you're looking at...
I mean, an RV, I think it'd be cool to keep it like under $100 a day.
I mean, that isn't, in modern times, that doesn't sound right. An RV...
I don't know.
I'm doing the research right now.
That does sound really low.
That sounds, I mean, this is the same woman who said she's going to say I love you after 6 weeks. I don't know. She's not good with numbers.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like that would.
That does not sound right.
I try to cheap travel.
It sounds like it's going to be, I think you're right. That is the price back in 1978.
Jessica in Madison, Wisconsin said that I heard you guys talking about the tourist traps and possibly visiting Chicago. I want to let you know about a cheese castle that we have here in Wisconsin. It's right across the border from Illinois and totally worth the trip. They have cheese, meats, baked goods, tons of samples. At least they did before COVID. Hopefully you guys head this way to check it out.
Cheese Castle?
Yeah, Cheese Castle.
Oh, my gosh.
It's MarsCheese.com. MarsCheese.com.
Mars Cheese Castle.
I have to do a KVJ retraction.
Uh-huh.
It looks like the witch is right. If you do it for a week, you're looking at possibly, it could average up to $60 per day.
Well, I'll take my apology now, asshole.
What is the level of RV?
75 to 150 for your regular, and if you want to go a little bit higher, 100 to 250 per night. But if you do it longer, it will start to average out a little bit.
Yeah.
So 150, 250 per night seems.
Yeah, I would think
posh.
2 to 250. That's kind of about where I was thinking.
I don't know. I'm not spending $250. I'll get a hotel for $250.
Will you?
I don't know. I'm gonna try.
I was gonna say I'm hearing like the hotels are much more expensive than that.
Yeah, but just remember, you are a marketing partner with the Casa Marina, and you can get employee rates, Kevin.
Okay. Well, we'll look into all that. I don't think we have anything settled up, but I'll see.
Would you rather have a full night of carnal lovemaking in a hotel room or in an RV? And I'm talking everything under the sun, all of your desires.
In an RV with the whole family right there?
No family there.
Yeah. Well, they're going to be there, so
This is a strictly carnal conversation.
Hey, kids, your mom and I are going to hit it real quick.
I'm going to do all kind of weird stuff to your mom. You guys want to watch?
We got this flimsy divider to block your view, but you're clearly going to hear everything that happens.
I'm taking Mom on the hood.
Yeah. Get ready. The whole family's going to be a part of this one.
I think I'd rather have sex in the RV. That sounds like fun, doesn't it?
No, I'd rather be in a hotel room. Definitely.
Posh ass over here.
And this cheese castle looks amazing. It really is a cheese castle.
Oh, wow.
I think it's big.
Not lying, huh?
That's made of cheese?
Well, it's not the outside. It's not made out of cheese, you big dummy.
I can't tell from this angle.
Where'd you find this guy?
I know, right?
I think you guys found me at Duffy's.
Can we take you back?
That's where we had our interview at, was Duffy's.
Christy had sent an email, kind of a little recommendation. If you like the cheese and all that wine and good stuff, she said that I listen on Spotify every day. I currently live in Denver, and I work as a liquor rep. I sell Moet and Veuve champagnes.
Okay.
And one of my favorite accounts in restaurants here in Denver just informed me that they just opened up a location on Palm Beach Island. It's called Les Bilboquettes. It is amazing. Yeah, I know exactly where it is. They had just opened up during the pandemic. I believe they also have a place in New York City, and that was one of the places that when everything was shut down in New York, they're like, screw it, let's go to Palm Beach. They're wide open and open up there. It's amazing French cuisine. It has a huge champagne and cocktail offering. In Denver, they have amazing champagne Saturday events. I'd assume they'd be doing it in Palm Beach as well. I honestly thought, Virginia needs to be informed about this. I promise you'll love it.
I do need to be informed about this. Les
Bilboquettes. Yes, I believe that it is right there off of Worth. You can check it out right on Worth.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. I'm very intrigued. You know, I love a French setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, 245 Worth Avenue.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
Been by it. Pretty cool.
I'll be getting kicked out of there soon.
Okay.
Just kidding.
I don't know if you are.
Ooh, they've got foie gras. Ooh, they've got tuna tartare.
Okay.
They got frog gras and tuna tartare. That sounds great. Frog gras. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Right.
Gosh.
Got to call them out here for terrible pizza delivery service. In fact, they called it an S-bomb delivery service. After a day of moving, my husband and I needed food delivered and fast. We ordered from our favorite pizza place, who uses a specialty delivery service. When it came to deliver the pizza, the driver called and asked if she needed to get out of the car and come to our door. And we said, yeah, and that's a pretty well-known standard feature of delivery service. She gave us the faintest knock on the door, and when we opened, we saw her sprinting away. And this was the condition of the pizza that we got. What the hell? This is barely edible.
Oh my gosh.
Look at it looks like she just mushed it up into balls and threw it back into the box if you're watching on KVJ TV.
She sprinted away.
Yeah.
Where is that pizza from? Can I tell where that's from by the aluminum foil?
What the hell? There's foil?
Aluminum foil, yeah.
That looks like a homemade pie that somebody made in their kitchen.
It looks like a homemade pie that somebody tackled.
Yeah.
It's terrible, isn't it? That's unreal.
That's how your food came delivery? I'd be pissed.
Yeah, that'll happen sometimes. You'll open up your pizza and all of the cheese has been flown off and you have to put your pizza back together.
I mean, what did this girl do? Like just break hard and the pizzas all went flying?
That's probably exactly what happened, Virginia.
Dang.
Or dropped it.
There's nothing I've ever heard on this show that would make me ever want to do delivery.
Yeah, there's been a lot of horror stories, and we unfortunately don't tell you the good ones. But they're even over the weekend. In fact, this morning and the weekend they fucked up my order. No honey mustard, no French. They got me home fries instead of French fries. They fucked up
I
the
hear
order.
nothing but disaster stories. I am very firm against never getting delivery.
And it's not cheap either, man.
Yeah, and then on top of it, I mean, terrible service, food's banged up, you don't get what you want, you pay a ton of money for it. There's nothing that sounds good about it.
You got a tip, and then there's a service charge.
Yeah.
So on top of what you pay for your food, then they add on, usually like at least 10 more bucks.
It's gonna with tip and the extra stuff. You're looking at another extra $15 to $20 if you are lucky. There's times you get out with more money you're owing. So you have to look at it as you're basically paying someone $20 to $25 to go get your food for you.
Right. That's how lazy you are.
Or that's how bad of an alcoholic you are. I wouldn't call me lazy. I would call me an alcoholic.
Get it right. Yeah, so that definitely is deserving of a call them out. We did contact the service, Slice, and they were awesome, refunded us and gave us a $10 credit. So for them, I would like to give a positive call them out. So.
And there are good. I don't want the Uber Eats and people who do that to think I'm only downing. There's really good people out there that know how to do it. Unfortunately, one insect can damage so much grain, Virginia.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Also, the call them out here said, yeah, Virginia is right. The people with the Trump flags on the bridge are causing rubberneckers to slow down and causing traffic jams. Last week, my husband said that a tractor trailer had to slam on its brakes because somebody jumped in front of him and slowed down to look at those people. These people need to get over it and just stop already. Your crazy is showing and you're embarrassing yourself.
Uh-oh, politically motivated. I didn't know you got politically motivated today on the show.
Signed, a Democrat.
There's
no doubt about that.
no doubt about that.
Yeah, my mom. I mean, I just because I'm always staying up on the severe far right Republican leanings. I was just talking to her. I think it was on Friday, and she was throwing out another date when supposedly they're going to overturn the election. I'm like, wow, still?
Well, whether it's far right or far left, if it's too far, it's fucked.
Right.
Yeah, both sides. Y'all both fucking crazy.
There's people that just want to eat some sandwiches.
The far, whatever you are, if you're far, you're crazy.
If you're far middle, you're fucking nuts.
Yeah, that's why they're out there. They're still holding on to it. I guess they still think it's going to get flipped. So there you go. They're living by it. We also had the story today about the guy that was in the whale's mouth and was spit out. There was one doctor thinking that if he came from like 40 feet below the surface is that fast, in less than 30 seconds, he'd get the bend. Somebody else as a diver said they didn't think necessarily, so maybe his story is legit. Yeah, being in a whale's mouth is pretty impressive, and here's somebody to give you a little bit of a visual image as to what a whale's heart looks like, just how big it is. This is my daughter, and this is a museum in Rhode Island, and there she is hugging the whale heart, and you could see that, yeah, I mean, it could be like a playhouse for a human. You could fit inside of a whale heart.
Surprised that thing fit in Rhode Island.
I know, right? Small there.
Rhode Island's small. Huh? Get it?
Mm-hmm. So that, I guess, is possible. That could have happened. Who knows? And story about Virginia. You were talking about Rocco wants a hamster.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think I'm leaning guinea pig now.
Guinea pigs, they're adorable.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said, Don sent an email, said, didn't Virginia just spend 2 days looking for a set of keys that Rocco had? Why would you give him a live animal to keep track of?
Well, a small live animal. They will. When I was in 4th grade, we had 2 hamsters that the kids loved, and someone broke into our portable, destroyed everything. They stole shit, and then our hamsters were gone the entire year. And then, I don't know, 2 months before school ended, a hamster's running in our classroom, and our teacher about shit himself goes, oh my gosh, there's our hamster, there's one of them. And then a week before the last day of school, the second hamster showed up in the classroom.
Wow.
They were both chilling in there somehow.
They came back and they were like, hey, we're here.
Or it was an inside job. One of the students did it, and they brought the hamsters back.
It seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, for a 4th grader, who's breaking into portables?
4th graders couldn't pull that off.
Agreed. Mm-hmm. That was weird, though, walking in a portable and it being destroyed by...
That's awful.
Yeah, then the hamsters are kidnapped.
The portables are kind of like easy targets, though. I mean, they were just out behind the school. It was like a low-budget way for them to put more students in the school without actually having to build.
A bunch of kids got really sick from one of the portables at Lake Park. The air condition broke. It was the same year, 4th grade, and the air condition broke for about 4 days, and kids got legit sick, me being one of them.
Probably like mold.
Just old-timey 1980s
asbestos,
building disease,
lead paint.
Yeah, I mean, all of the shit that was killing us slowly back in the 80s.
Oh, it's definitely still in you.
Oh, there's no way I'm making it to 50.
So much cell damage.
It's going to be interesting how much stuff from the 80s is going to be the end of us.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, you may have lived outside of the 80s, but I think the 80s is still going to take me down one of these days.
Well, we really did some fucked up shit in the 80s, man.
And the 90s.
And the 90s. When did we stop smoking in the car with kids? Was that 90s?
I think that started to thin out in the early 80s. I think we really kind of started to get on just how bad the smoking was. Some parents didn't give a shit, and they still kept doing it.
Because I remember people still smoking in the car with their kids around 1990.
Well, it depends on where you were Like I said, in the 90s, I started to kick around and go different places. I lived in California where nobody smoked, even in the early 90s, early to mid 90s. And I remember when I was moving to Kansas City, I drove through and we stopped at a McDonald's in Joplin, Missouri. And it was like stepping into the Twilight Zone. We walked into the McDonald's and there was about 30 people in there. Every person was smoking and eating at the same time.
So gnarly.
And I was so stunned having just come from California where you couldn't smoke anywhere. And I'm like, this is unreal to me.
It's like these dummies didn't get the memo yet.
Yeah, this was like 1997.
It's turning my stomach to think about someone eating a brisket sandwich and then smoking right after.
They would take a bite of a Big Mac and then inhale, and I had to turn right around and walk out. I was stunned. I was in shock. I'm like, what's going on here?
Well, I mean, that was the concept even in regular restaurants. I remember going to the ale house, and half of the restaurant would be, oh, we're just going to stay over here and not smoke. And then the other half.
Right.
It's like that wasn't getting to
They put
us.
smoking right next to non-smoking. And this isn't doing any good, man.
No, it didn't.
It's not doing anything at all. So, yeah, I think the 80s is still going to take me out one of these days. Saw that legendary actor Ned Beatty had died of natural causes yesterday. He was 83. He's one of those people, maybe you don't know the name, but if you saw the face, especially if you grew up in the 80s, you would remember him.
Oh, make him squeal like a pig.
Yeah, he was Deliverance most famously. He was also in Superman.
Yep.
And where I remembered his face when I saw it, he was in The Toy from 1982. And he was one of the guys that was in that. I was like, okay,
He
that's
was
how
Master
I knew.
Bates's right-hand man kind of a guy.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's where I remember him from. And he even was in Toy Story 3. He played Evil Lotso. So he had done some other things.
Do you know who this guy is?
I saw his picture and he did look familiar, but I didn't know him by his name.
He's not. He wouldn't be a household name for anybody over the age of 50, you don't think? Or what do you
may
mean?
know the name again, but it's one of those things where I couldn't really place him. I had heard because of Deliverance, Ned Beatty, but then when I saw the face, I'm like, where do I know that guy from? And then I looked up his IMDb. I'm like, oh, that's right, he was in The Toy.
Have y'all ever seen Deliverance?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it.
That's
They
a
squeal like a pig.
Fucked
Yeah.
up movie, man.
That's not my type.
And there's a buildup of weird. It's one of those movies, you know something bad's going to happen. So
Yeah.
there's this odd tension that's building.
Yeah.
And that scene, Squeal Like a Pig, it makes you feel very weird. It gives you a weird
I'm
feeling.
good.
Yeah.
I don't
good.
need that.
Nah. We were talking about the Friends reunion, how much they got paid. It was what? Each person got $2.5 million.
Yep.
Probably a good investment. The Friends reunion was responsible for the largest single-day signups for HBO Max ever.
Wow.
Yeah. And 29% of people who have HBO Max streamed it on the first day of its release.
Look, good for them. It's not my cup of soda, but good for their winning.
And now HBO Max is going to be doing the Sex and the City revival.
Okay.
That would actually maybe get me to buy HBO Max.
They're going balls to the wall with the promos. I'm seeing them everywhere for Sex and the City.
Yep.
Hashtag I stand with Samantha.
It's coming in hot, Kevin.
I wonder what they're getting paid for it.
I bet they're getting a pretty penny.
Yeah.
They have a loyal fan base. Mm-hmm. I've seen every episode.
You're speaking of yourself.
Well, it always would run on HBO. If you have HBO, you start to watch pretty much anything on there.
They run it on E. Or
Yeah, but I can't. They censor shit out on E. I know, man. I want to hear Burger say the word fuck.
Other things that were going on, I thought it was pretty cool. American Idol runner-up Willie Spence was at a Operation Hope Awards banquet at the Doubletree Hilton on Saturday in Palm Beach Gardens. So he came back and did some singing, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And I saw this too, Billie Eilish all over the place. They say that she's been accused of what's called queer baiting.
What the hell is that?
She's acting like she's into girls, but she's not, just to sell albums, to get publicity. Her new video is showing her being very flirty and friendly with a bunch of girls. I think they're all in a bed together.
Yeah.
And people are, you are queer baiting. And Twitter is mad, Virginia.
Yeah, it's sometimes called gay baiting.
What?
Yeah.
What if you just like getting in bed with a bunch of your girlfriends and just being silly and having a girls' night? Now I'm queer baiting?
It's just,
Yeah,
we need to take a breath.
You're trying to get LGBTQ dollars by, being maybe too gay friendly and saying, oh, I'm doing nothing but pandering to the community just so you guys will support me.
But to Virginia's point, what if she just wants to make a video of art of her being in a bed with a bunch of people?
I've done that with my girl. Me and the Booty Crew did that. We all got in bed and we did a photo shoot and it was fun.
But when did it get to a point where art has to be so literal with everything? You know, for centuries and centuries, we've had art and books, and it's out of your imagination, it's out of creativity. Why is that all of a sudden, if you're in front of a camera, you have to be exactly what you say you are? If not, you're a bad person. It doesn't make any sense to me.
And if they are, I mean, honestly, isn't everything that we do with marketing and whatnot going after some communities' dollars, whatever it might be? And to me, I would think that it's good because I think it helps normalize it, right? And we're still in a fight for a lot of people who... I was talking to a buddy of mine that's gay, and he was walking down the street the other day. He said in Delray, and somebody called him the very bad word, F word.
They yelled
for gay
it?
people. Yeah, somebody said that to him. He's just like, I was stunned that today. So it really does kind of go to show you that there still is some room to grow. And, you know, luckily on Saturday, Delray, they did a commemoration they did a rainbow-colored crosswalk. But, you know, and that was in the town where he was called the F word. So there's still work that needs to be done. And if you're doing things to normalize, that's a great way to do it in music and movies and things like that. When just people start seeing it, they're like, this is just how people are.
Go after the right people. Don't start going after the wrong people, because then you start to...
Well, then you make everything weird, and then people are like, oh, I don't want to get called out.
I'm talking about anything where if people are there to support whatever the situation is, let's not call those people out.
Right.
Because that really goes against what this is all about.
Let's worry more about people who are like, you know, not being opening and accepting.
Exactly.
Yeah. That seems like that'd be the better fight to take on. But what the hell?
But what the fuck do I know, Kevin?
Yeah, I wouldn't get canceled just for saying that.
You know what? I'm starting to realize canceling might not be that bad. I need a break sometime. Let me take a
nice
nap.
vacation.
Go to Oregon. Cancel me.
Can we cancel the rest of June?
What would it take?
Go ahead. Take your best shot.
What would it take?
I can't believe somebody would yell that at a person across the street. I would, if I saw that going on.
Yeah, I think they were just walking past him, and they said it to him as he was walking by, and he's like, "Whoa!"
I would take my phone out and start videoing the person that felt like they needed to yell that.
But here's
I think
the
it
thing,
happened
though.
so fast that it was just in passing. I was like, "Wait, what did you just say to me?"
The sad thing is you're never going to get rid of assholes. You're never going to get rid of...
Yeah.
I know, but
to think of a world...
They need to be shamed a little bit.
Call them out, absolutely.
Shamed and then doxxed.
I'm just saying you're never going to... It's just not going to... You're always going to have a percentage of fuck faces out there.
I get it, but if you punish one, maybe the others will see, you know, and one less person will be called that nasty name on the street, not even doing anything but walking. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you really break it down, only if you look at the numbers, only like 30% of the people you meet are ever going to like you. I think that's how those numbers break down.
I feel like my numbers are lower.
Yours might be lower.
Yeah, you're never ever in humanity going to get rid of all the haters.
You just won't. We'll look back at the history of, you know, humanity. We've always had fuck faces.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you always will.
And you always will. So there you go. There's today's moral lesson for you.
You will always have fuck faces.
Yes.
Print that. All right, kids, there's your
If
story.
you learned anything from today's show, take that away. All right, you guys have a great Monday. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.